Today is the 22nd of January 2020, and as usual, it is a Wednesday, and 5 Nights of Glory continues throughout this week. Now, this is a program where we tell you the truth, and we expect you to exchange the truth with us, to bring out your feelings on the issues up for discussion. And the point of discussion is always got to do with what affects Rivers State, the 23 local government areas that make up Rivers State, the 6 states that make up the Niger Delta region, and the issues in Nigeria, wherever they are, as they affect you and I in Rivers State, as they affect all the peoples of the Niger Delta, what the politicians are doing. So this program is one of our usual programs. Now, the topic that has been on the burner for a while now is the Ameotekun issue. And Ameotekun has to do with the rights of Nigerians to the protection and security of life and properties, and why Ameotekun is considered an illegal outfit, and yet very similar outfit, if not same outfit under different names, are not considered illegal. And how ironic, therefore, it is that the ones that are not illegal are from certain parts of Nigeria, i.e. Within the core northern states, and the ones that are always considered illegal outfits are either in the Niger Delta, in the past organizations in the Niger Delta, in the southeast. What the different people think, what lawyers think, what the legal interpretation is, what the constitutional interpretation is of whether Ameotekun is legal or not legal. I want to believe that what at least is not in contention and should not be in contention is the fact that Nigerians, you and I, and in this case in Rivers State, and in this case Niger Delta, that we have a right, like every other Nigerian in all the 774 local government areas across Nigeria, both north and south, and all the 36 states and all the northern and southern states, whichever way you want to look at it, and members or non-members of all the political parties that exist in Nigeria, that we all, men and women, children and adults, youth, have a legal right to security of life and property. Not only do we have a legal right, it is a universal human right. Not only is it a universal human right, it is a right that Nigeria herself have signed on, both as a member of the community of the world through the UN, but also as a nation that has a constitution that provides for security of life and property. Therefore, I believe and accept the position of Chief Afe Babalola, along with so many other lawyers that have spoken, and he is also a son, that citizens have a right to protect and safeguard their lives and property, especially and particularly when you have a government that claims to have sole right to protect the rights, the lives and property and rights of Nigerians, but have failed woefully to achieve that. So by what has gone on in Nigeria, almost close to the past over a decade since the emergence of Boko Haram, the incursion of international groups like ISIS and the West Africa Islamic movement along those lines. So many external terrorist organizations that have been able to infiltrate, to come into Nigeria, that has a very porous border. If you go on the streets in Port Harcourt today, when you look along the highways and you see people that are begging for arms, people who are spraying dirty water on your car in the name of cleaning your cars and things like that, you will see that there is a mixture of Nigerians and non-Nigerians, and you begin to wonder really and truly, how are these non-Nigerians getting into Nigeria, and really what legal means have they used to come into Nigeria. So it is our right that, since we have a government and since the Constitution does provide for it, that we have a government that is incapable or has chosen not to, it's one or the other, or even, in my opinion, even two, both of them concurrently, that we cannot and do not feel safe in the country called Nigeria, in certain areas of and in certain states and in certain geopolitical regions of Nigeria. Nigerians do not and are not safe. They do not feel safe and they are not safe. Now, in certain areas, you have civilian JTF, you have Hisbah, you have different vigilantes over the years. Some way before this time, have been declared illegal. There were times we had the Bakassi boys in the southeast and all of that. Now, so when you have a situation where there are certain things that are not permitted in, say, in Rivers State, but then there are certain things that are permitted, say, in Kano State, but in the same country. And these certain things are very much similar. If we all remember, last year, there was the time that the governor of Rivers State, Governor Nyesom Wike, set up the neighborhood watch. And from what we read, the police were aware of it, the army were aware of it, they were invited so it was not a secret. And yet, on the day that the youths were supposed to begin training, people that had been employed were supposed to begin training, we were told that the military have found a place where people were being trained for what? I mean, they made it look as if it was an illegal outfit, and they put a stop to it. In the meantime, in Lagos State and in other states, there are very similar outfits that have been set up, even by law, the same way that Rivers State put it through the process of the state assembly, was the same way Lagos put up their own through their state assembly. And reading through how the documents and the law that set up both the Lagos State outfit and the Rivers State outfit, Rivers State tried as much as she could to align what was being set up with the same way that the Lagos State government set up their own. So these are very, very worrying situations. These are very worrying confrontational issues. Now, over a period of years, very well-known farmers in the southwest have had their farms, even Wole Soyinka and other great Yoruba men who are also farmers have had their farms attacked and destroyed. We mention the known names because they seem to be the ones that stick, but it is just a constant barrage of poor farmers whose livelihood is destroyed on a daily basis, from southwest to the middle belt states to the southeast. Now, my area of concern as a River State indigene, as a Niger Delta indigene, and as a Nigerian, my area of concern is the fact that we in this area, i.e. River State, i.e. Niger Delta, are very complacent to the issues of what was termed farmers herders clash that has gone on for decades, not just 10 years, decades and decades. I found out as a person during the National Conference of 2014 from people of the Middle Belt region and states that what is becoming apparent to us, and that is to say that it has become a surprise to us because it was not really in the news, that this issue of so-called farmers and herders clash have been going on for decades in the Middle Belt. So before even the open existence of organizations like Boko Haram, ISIS, the West Africa Islamic movement, or whatever they are called, and the fact that these bodies have gone on, or their activities have gone on for a very long time, came as a surprise to everybody. I am included in that in that everybody. And really and truly, we just have to face the reality as a people in River State and in the Niger Delta, that if these things have been going on in Adamawa, in Borno, and places like that that are in the north, and they have come down to the Middle Belt area, and they have come down to the south, and they've gone to the southwest, and they've gone to the southeast, I don't think you need a soothsayer or a seer or a Joseph to dream and come and tell you that the next place that is headed, that the next place that is going to be an issue is going to be the Niger Delta area. Our people, the ordinary man, you and I, cannot see that. Now, the governments of these states are the politicians, and they must also be aware of this, even if for whatever reasons, for political reasons or for legal reasons or for constitutional reasons, they are unable to discuss these things. Then we, you and I, that are the primary victims of whatever the Middle Belt, of whatever the Christians in Kaduna, in Adamawa, in other places have endured, we cannot run away from the fact that we also have a cause to be worried. Now, in January or before then, there were 9 or how many Christians were beheaded by Boko Haram or by, no, I think ISIS took responsibility for that and said that these people were beheaded, and these are Nigerians, that they were beheaded because they believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. For crying out loud, religion is a right. Whatever religion you choose to practice, it is a right. whether you are a Christian, a Muslim, a Buddhist, a non-believer, a worshipper of, let me not call other people's gods before they say I have disrespected them. Whatever you believe in, whatsoever you believe in, basically it is a right. Even if I decide that what you believe in is not the right thing, it is not my right to make that decision for you. Now, when you start beheading people because of their faith, because of what they believe in, then that society, there is no hope for that society. Because what makes you think that the people you're beheading will also not turn around and also start beheading you and also say for what you believe? We cannot. We must call the government to order. The federal government, it is irresponsible for a federal government of any country to constantly be issuing statements after statements, condoning and saying sorry to families, Christian families that are being killed on a daily basis, that they are sorry, that the federal government is sorry, that the president is sorry. No, it is not good enough. It shows a sign of a weak government. Your people are killed for their rights, and religion is a basic universal right. And so you cannot be in a country and be proud to call yourself a political leader, to call yourself a governor or a president or a senator or anything, when your people are being killed for their beliefs of what or who they worship. You are very weak when that happens under you. The Bible says that persecution will come. It doesn't say that Christians should line up and wait for their turn to be persecuted or to be beheaded. So we have to face these realities that Nigeria is in deep trouble. And the Christians of Nigeria in all the 36 states have to face this reality that the onslaught, the attack to kill Christians for their belief of their God, their living God, and that Jesus is the Son of God, that they believe that is not a crime. And any government that allows that to happen is not the right government for the people of that country. And so the worry, therefore, ought to be for the Niger Delta states, because what is happening in places like Adamawa, places like Kaduna, southern Kaduna, places like Borno, where these things are happening, is not as bad as what is happening, say, in the southwest or in the southeast or in the Niger Delta. But let us stop deceiving ourselves that it is not happening. And let us also stop deceiving ourselves, Niger Delta people, River State people, Christians. Stop deceiving yourselves that you're safe here in River State. You're not safe. Because the people that will carry out these activities, in my opinion, are already on ground. So for us to continue to deceive ourselves that there is any level of safety because we don't discuss it, and because it's not what is happening in Borno right now, in Adamawa, and places like that, has not happened in River State. Therefore, there is no plan that it will happen in River State. No, that's not how life is. Reverend Lawan Andima, the current chairman of Adamawa State, was kidnapped and eventually was beheaded. What was his crime? In the book of the people that beheaded him, that is the chairman of CAN. What is CAN? CAN is the Christian Association of Nigeria. So why was he killed? He was killed because he believes that that God is the living God and that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. That's the only crime he committed. So now, if you as a Christian sitting here in Port Harcourt, either as a senator or as an ordinary person or even as a pastor that has a congregation, if you believe the same thing that the late Reverend Lawan and Dimi believes in, what makes you think you're not at risk? Because you're in Rivers State, you're at risk. People like people in the southeast are showing videos of their forests being taken over. We have forests in Rivers State. We have Ekpeye. There is landed places where our people have not told us whether those forests are still safe or not. These are things that we ought to be able to discuss. And discussing these things does not make you a bad Nigerian. It does not. It makes you somebody. As a matter of fact, it is people like us, people like me, who are prepared to admit that these things are issues of concern for us, that are actually the best Nigerians, and not the people who are running around saying, if you don't belong to this political party, then you're not patriotic. If you don't belong to that political party, you're not patriotic. I don't believe in political parties. I believe that we need politics. You and I need politics, and therefore we need politicians. Because you and I, it's not everybody that can do politics. If everybody is doing politics, all of us, there's 5 of us right now in this studio. All 5 of us will not be in this studio, we'll be doing politics. But not everybody can be doing politics. Somebody has to do politics. Not everybody can be governor. One person has to be governor. Not everybody can be senator. 3 people have to be senators. You know, but what they do in our name must be an issue of concern for us. It has to be. And again, I keep going back to place some of the responsibility, if not the major responsibility, on politicians, local government chairmen. It is not good enough for you to leave your local government and be living in Port Harcourt, unless your local government is in Port Harcourt. If you don't want to live in your local government area, then you have no business being a local government chairman and councillors. You should live there. You know, so if you're a local government chairman, you must know what is happening in the area that you are overseeing as local government chairman. When I was growing up in Abonima, it's not possible for a stranger or strangers to walk into Abonima, enter boat in Abonima Wharf. In those days, we didn't have the road. We used to try to get to Agada, and then from Agada take a boat and cross to through Degema and all of that. Now, when we used to take boats from Abonima waterside, Abonima Wharf rather, to Abonima and to get to Buguma, Bakana and all these places, Tombi and all that, you can't enter a boat, come down in a stranger care, come down in Abonima, and when you come down, you just walk straight into the community. You can't get anywhere because people will ask you, who are you? Who are you looking for? Because we know ourselves. We were still in Nigeria then. One Nigeria does not mean that because you are a Nigerian, then you will just come from wherever you want to come from and come and take over Abonima because you're a Nigerian. No, now. No. And this is the responsibility of the community. You cannot blame the governor for that. That is why you have local government, and that's why you have traditional rulers. These were the things that the traditional rulers were responsible for. You cannot enter Abonima. And when I was a little girl, I don't know about somebody else's community, but in the Kalabari areas, you cannot enter Abonima. And then, okay, let's say you're going to Kola, you enter Abonima, or to Soku, or to the fishing port. You enter Abonima, you will still get another boat from Abonima that will take you to Kola or take you to Soku. You cannot enter a boat and then you tell the boat driver you're going to, which language are you going to use to even tell him where you're going, if it is not Calabar language that you use to tell him where you're going. But today, some of the people driving those boats are not even Abonima people. What type of thing is this? We're allowing even strangers to come in and take our local economy because we're lazy. Our community youths are irresponsible. They have given the responsibility of the community to strangers. Everybody wants to go and live in Port Harcourt. I'm living in Port Harcourt. So everybody can come and live in Port Harcourt. But when you live in Port Harcourt, then know that strangers will take over your community. When everybody lives, and when, what do you call it? When traditional rulers who are custodians of our tradition and culture give over their responsibility and responsibilities to politics, instead of being loyal to the people that you are supposed. When I was a little girl, if you see a chief coming, you clear from the road. What type of thing is this? And then we will look for another person to blame for our own irresponsibility to ourselves. It is our responsibility to secure our communities. It is not the response. There is no way federal government will claim that it can be responsible for the security in Abonima. It can be responsible for the security in Okolobio, where only one canoe can pass at a time. There is no such responsibility that the government can have. It is the responsibility of those communities and the local government under which those communities are today. When I was growing up, there was no local government. There were divisional headquarters. But today, politics have changed everything. They want to open up everywhere. They've taken the community powers from the traditional rulers. Everybody now wants to be a traditional ruler. Everybody is a high chief. What is high chief, sir? Everybody is a high chief. Abonima, Calabari people, start giving women title. Let me also call myself high chief, I beg you. You know, but jokes aside, you know, so these are the responsibilities we owe ourselves. In Nigeria, there is no federal government that is going to be able to protect us in Abonima if the local government is not responsible to us, and the state government is not responsible to us, and the senators representing us are not. Look, I wonder, what is it? There are some people that are in the House of Representatives since 1999 at different times that you cannot even recall a sentence that they made in the chambers on behalf of their people. I mean a sentence. I did more work in 5 months or so between May and August at the national conference, at a discussion amongst other Nigerians for this state and my local government and the Niger Delta region, and in fact Nigeria, than they all who claim to be representing us have done in this dispensation. What are you doing there? You're not able to speak for the despoilation of the environment. You're not able to speak for the fact that strangers are in the communities of the people that you're representing, and these strangers are not identifiable because their skin is black, and that because they are Africans. What type of right is that? Can an Abonima man get up now and just get up and land in Kenya and go and start living in one Kenya village there and say he's an African? What type of thing is this? And we're just sitting there watching this thing. Both our mental capacity, both our land, our waters, our rivers, our swamps, our mangroves, our creeks is being taken over. Even our people are afraid now to enter these places.